What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, I have none other than the guy himself from Limerick, Ireland, in the building, Mr. Dave Sheahan. How you doing today, brother?
How are we getting on? All good here now.
Look, man, sometimes if you're at first, you don't succeed. Pick yourself up and try it again. That's what they tell me, man.
That's exactly what we have to do. I always say, take as many knockdowns, but never be knocked out.
That's it, man. So, getting into things, brother, I know that you have been, just pushing through the pandemic. Contact jobs is what you in, working out with people, gyms, all these things. So, how has it been going during the pandemic? And being we talked at the beginning, how have you been since our last conversation?
Yeah, like we last spoke, I think it was a very start of the pandemic, so it's been quite a roller coaster ride for nearly 2 years now in many ways, like a lot of, impact personally, professionally, financially, especially, working in the whole health space. Obviously it's an area I'm very passionate about anyway. And it's been 2 years where I've done everything I can to put out as much positivity, as much information on what people can do to, improve their lifestyles, improve their health, improve their immune systems, all that side of things.
Yes,
like from a personal point of view, it hit me hard in the first 6-7 months, especially with the severity of the lockdowns here in Ireland where I am, plus also Lanzarote, one of the islands, it's off Spain and off Africa, where I lived, for 6 years, where I had a gym and a food business and beach boot camps. Within 3-4 months, they all had to get shut down because the restrictions were so extreme and there was no kind of end to them that financially it became unviable to, even restart them with the way they were making businesses restart at like 30% capacity and things like that with no certainty, So that was a tough blow. At the end of the day, when you set up a business, it's like your baby and you work hard for years to build it up. And I worked hard for that particular business 4 or 5 years. And within 3 months, it's wiped out. So that's hard to take.
Man.
But what's key for everybody in life, in life, you will get knockdowns. Again, like the thing is never be knocked out. Just keep taking the knockdowns, keep getting back up, because feeling sorry for yourself ain't going to change anything. Like you have to adapt, you have to adjust. And that's what I had to do. Of course, it affected me emotionally initially, and it was hard, and I was angry and every kind of emotion. But it was like, okay, look, what do I do now? I can't work offline face-to-face with people in Ireland because there was severe restrictions. I've been doing online since 2009. So look, let's ramp that up. Let's do a lot more. Let's start doing a lot more lives. Let's start doing live workouts. Let's give more and more support to people and businesses. I started writing books that I had planned on writing for years. I planned on setting up like a healthy vegan plant-based snack meal treats business. So I started working on that and getting that going. So, it was a case of, seeing opportunities and grabbing them, creating opportunities myself and, doing what had to be done. If business had to get shut, they had to get shut. And that's just the reality of life. Pandemic, these things happen anyway.
Yeah, man.
One thing that I'll say, like, we've seen such mental health problems developing, like they're escalating out of our control. Every kind of age group globally across the world. I'm seeing myself now working with very young kids with anxiety and severe mental issues because of this. But for me, even personally, it's like me working on myself, my own mindset, my own mentality, my own health, all that type of thing for the last 17, 18 years or so served me well to cope with my own challenges in this. And it really showed how important it is to have a good mindset, have a good thought process, always working in psychology. And like I say to people, every day evolve into a better person of yourself. Every day look at how can I improve my health and well-being, because there is nothing more important. There's nothing more important than your health. As I say, your health is your wealth.
Yeah.
And this is something that people hopefully have learned more and more and woken up to in the last couple of years, that they need to start prioritizing their health more and more.
And so that's what that's why I wanted to make sure as we get ready to jump into 2022, as we have so many people getting ready to jump back into the gyms, that we have conversations like these as we talk about alternative diets, or we talk about workouts. You think about the video. So just jumping into it, I want to say, for people that are looking to look at those choices of how they're going to eat or what happens next. You
Mm.
think about people doing non-dairy, or you think about the vegan lifestyle. For people that don't know, what is a vegan lifestyle and what are some of the benefits of that lifestyle?
Yeah, now a vegan lifestyle basis where like you don't consume or engage in activities that involve the cruelty of animals, let's say. So at the end of the day, the whole process, the whole food production process. I always say to people, like, even if you're not overly passionate or care too much about animals themselves, animal cruelty, or the planet and stuff, from a health perspective, what's put into our food now, what's put into the animals, is making literally food become so poisonous and toxic to us. So, like, this is why people need to start looking at this way of life anyway, because it's about profit. At the end of the day, every single industry out there is about making profit.
Mm-hmm.
And it has increased more and more that way. It's like animals are pumped with more and more steroids and antibiotics and growth hormones. They're constantly getting sick because we're in such close proximity with so many together. We are then ingesting that. So from a health perspective, people need to start decreasing their animal product intake anyway.
Yeah.
So like a vegan diet, like very extreme vegans will do absolutely nothing to do with animals. Clothing, even settees, like car seats, like the whole lot. Nothing can have anything to do with animals, like with leather and all this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have various levels. Like that's like the typical extreme vegan. That's why I think there's been a change now where you got vegan, you got plant-based.
Yeah.
Because you do have an element of the vegan community who are very extreme. Their views and what they want to live like is fine, but hammering people over not being vegan, which at the end of the day, for me, is very hypocritical because, like, for me, I'm vegan now. It'll be 10 years in the 1st of January. So that meant I had 33 years not vegan. Now, I'd be very hypocritical to start hammering you if you're not vegan, because I had 33 years of my life not vegan. So that has given vegan a bad name because of a tiny percentage, tiny minority who hammer people by not being vegan. Like any movement or anything, there's always extremes. We see it in politics, we see it in religion, we see it in everything. So that's kind of like what a vegan is. What people need to focus on more so is like the health aspect, how it's better for your health, the benefits for that, like your energy, like longevity, simple things like hair, skin, nails, preventing diseases. If you do get any kind of disease, illness, ailment, you'll get rid of it much faster. You've got then, like, obviously decreasing animal cruelty is always going to be a good thing because it is a very, very cruel industry, the way things happen, and the amount of animals that are killed every day even it's truly shocking, and then you got, like, from the planet perspective, even just a case of how much food is grown just to feed the animals, which we then kill to feed ourselves. Instead of, if you look at the problems in the world, like malnourishment, starvation, millions die constantly every day, every week. Like, why not use that food to feed humans and the animals are still there, instead of mass producing animals all the time when there doesn't need to be so many animals on the planet. So there's some very simple logical reasons for it. But at the end of the day, industry drives the world, money drives the world, profit drives the world. And this is where education comes in. People need to get educated on what the reality is and get their mind open to the reality of how the industries work. Things like veganism and why there's merits and benefits to it, and then just take steps in the right direction. Like, I'm very much a person who tells people step by step, not big leaps.
And that's my next question. So let's say you gave it to me kind of what it is, some of the benefits. I want to look into it.
Yeah.
You as a vet, you say you're coming up on 10 years. What would be that first step that you kind of coach your clients into as you begin that process of going vegan?
Well, we're again, like I was saying there, like step by step. When people aim to do something, they typically want to go like full feed in type idea. It's full hog. So it's like someone isn't vegan today, decide, here, I think I'll give the vegan thing a go, to go vegan tomorrow. They don't know how to do it. They haven't researched it. They maybe don't have any people they know they could follow. So they're starting from scratch with no knowledge, no mentors, no guidance, no nothing. And typically that's not a way to work in anything, in business, in veganism, in anything, exercise. It doesn't matter what you try to do. You have to have some kind of knowledge of what to do. So my biggest tip always with everything, as well as veganism, is take a step in the right direction. So simple thing to be, even as opposed to going 100% vegan straight off, which only works for a tiny percentage of people. Instead of that, you might have a meat-free day, or you might have a meat-free meal a week, or you might cut out dairy for a few weeks, see what happens. Or you might cut out, let's say, beef or eggs or something. Do something in the right direction. Because now more than ever, it's actually become much easier. It's just a thing of awareness and education. There's like there are millions and millions and millions of recipes online you can see through different people who that's all they do. That's, you know, they cook and they put it up there with videos and recipes. Like me, it's a good part of what I do, but it's not all that I do. But I provide lots of recipes. I share all my food online. As I said, I provide now healthy snacks, meals, treats for people. You've got tons of videos online of people explaining the benefits of veganism, you know, the realities of the industry, the effect on the environment and the planet. You know, you can see everything that's from extreme footage of what goes on in these factory farms and all on something like damn, what's the name? Earthlings. Earthlings
Yeah.
would be one now. It's fairly graphic, but again, it's reality.
Yeah.
You've got other ones. Then you'd have a load of things on Netflix, like documentaries on
Yeah,
there
seen them.
that are easier,
Yeah.
you know, easier to watch, but they're getting the point across. So
Now, tell me this then, Dan. If I'm going vegan,
yeah,
what can I have and what can I not? I think that's what hooks me up. What can
yeah,
I have? What can I not have?
yeah. That's an important point. Like the main thing is animal products. Okay, so you got obviously beef, chicken, lamb, turkey, fish of all kinds. So they're directly like the actual animals. So that's their flesh. So obviously kind of that. Eggs then have been everything derivatives of it, like anything that was, you know, taken from the animal. So you got all dairy products, things that are made from dairy products like cheese and creams and ice creams and all that type of thing, and the eggs. So they're taken out of it then as well. So you're taking those things out, and where people go wrong is they take those things out, but then they don't replace with anything. So you have to replace. Now, the good thing is you can get an alternative now for everything, even eggs. You can get a vegan egg now. I'm not sure how the hell they make that thing, but and I haven't tasted it yet, but there's a vegan egg. So it is actually the easiest time ever. And especially over in the States and also like in UK. UK is really good. Ireland's slow enough, but UK is brilliant. Parts of Europe, as I said, US is amazing in terms of there's so many different now restaurants and cafes and fast food outlets now that are vegan focused or they have a strong vegan menu. In terms of like supermarkets, grocery stores, as I said, you can have a replacement for everything. Even if you take just milk alone, if you go back, what, 6, 7 years, it was soya milk or else you had dairy milk. Now you've got soya, you've got almond milk, you've got cashew milk, you've got hazelnut milk, you've got coconut milk, you've got oat milk, you've got rice milk, you've got like 10, 12 different types. So depending on what kind of flavors you like, what consistency, it's easy to find one. You know, same as cheeses, loads of different cheeses, creams, ice creams. Like even Ben and Jerry's have, I think in the States, it's about 25 different dairy-free flavors at this stage. Like here in Ireland, we have 5 right now, but I think the States is 25. So, you know, there's so much different things now you can have. So if someone goes, oh, I can't give up cheese, there's a cheese alternative. Oh, I love milk, I love ice cream. There's alternatives. The only thing that is a big change for people is like that if you're giving up again beef, chicken, fish, all those things. But you have to kind of process market then, like the fake fish, fake chicken, fake beef. And I'm telling you, as someone who used to eat these things, there's very little difference now. You eat the vegan versions, you wouldn't even know. If you were blindfolded and you told, look, this is a beef burger, you would think it's a beef burger. You know, same as the chicken, same as the fish. Like it's amazing how it's developed in the last 5, 10 years. So the biggest thing is, like if someone wants again to keep eating something that's like beef, you can. Eat something that's like eggs, you can. Milk, you can. So that now isn't a stumbling block anymore. It's just now becoming aware of the alternatives and going out there and getting them and finding them and trying them. Like the milks, try one. You don't like it, try a different one.
Yeah.
It's okay, try a different one. You know, you'll find one that you love. Like I like rice milk because it's sweet, because I like sweet stuff. Oat milk too, because it's kind of a bit creamy, like the way dairy milk would have been. Then what you have to do is, let's say if someone's having typically they love chicken curry, well then start getting to having chickpea curry. You know, so you just replace in one thing. You know, it's like if you're making a lasagna or a bolognese, well, you can get like the plant-based mince, or you could just put stuff like lentils in, or seitan or tofu, or even just kidney beans or mixed beans.
Yeah.
So the thing people need to do is be willing to try different things. It's like me. I came from a background, like when I first started out 25 years ago, I was in bodybuilding. So I was eating 13 times a day. Most of that was beef, chicken, supplements were all like whey based.
Yeah.
So I was consuming a lot of these things. So I would have seen vegan and all that as being like a cult and being crazy, and it's just madness.
Yeah.
But the more I educated myself, the more I saw what people are doing, the more I saw like in game changers, whether people are bodybuilders, NFL players, sprinters, footballers, whatever they might be, they're performing at their highest level now since going vegan. So, the whole myth that an athlete needs all these animal products or a bodybuilder has to eat loads of beef, like it's all destroyed now. But it's coming through education. That's what's great with these documentaries. So for a beginner, look at the alternatives, research the alternatives, follow people who promote a vegan lifestyle and look what they're doing, because there's so much information out there. Watch documentaries, inform yourself, educate yourself, ask questions. That's how we learn. We ask questions like children. Children ask questions nonstop, yourself in schools. That's how they learn. We need to do the same. So it's a great time to consider going vegan. And the key thing is to go step by step.
That's it, brother. Man, look, great information. And so, like I say, you always think about that, but I really want to give a little more background on that vegan. Now, taking it from the vegan and just out into the professional workout expert that you are, brother. And so, now maybe it's not that I don't want to go vegan, but I want to kind of fine tune my diet.
Yeah.
In working with that and thinking about getting ready for 2022, what could be some of the things that you would tell your client, as in, this is where you start?
Yeah. The most important thing in the modern world for people to focus on is processed food. Like it has become, like most people consume a fair amount of it to nearly entirely processed food, because again, the food industry has made things very convenient. Life has got very fast. Life has got very stressful. People are going nonstop all day. It's easy to throw something to a microwave or just into the oven or order takeout, or, just have chicken nuggets or whatever it might be, processed food and just rubbish. Like it's not nutritional. And also the marketing side of things as well. It's like if you look at something like, I think, have you got Special K? That's cereal. It's a box cereal.
Oh yes, for sure.
So it's like, if people look at the front of that, they think, whoa, that must be really healthy. The woman in the red swimsuit, God, it must be healthy cereal. When it's absolute garbage. And, the marketing of all these products is amazing. It looks great. But if you don't understand the nutritional breakdown or what the ingredients are and what the ingredients mean, then you don't realize how bad it is. So I think the most important thing for people to focus on, number one, is decrease their processed food intake, because it's not food. It's just toxic crap going into the system. Like even if you look at bread, there's some breads could have 20 or 30 ingredients, when like bread is like basically water, flour, milk, if you're making with eggs maybe, so it's like 2, 3, 4 ingredients. So all these processed foods have so many E numbers, so many different types of sugars. Then we look at stuff that's supposedly sugar-free. Yes, there's no specific sugar, but then there's loads of artificial sweeteners and E numbers and chemicals to still make it taste nice, because if it doesn't taste nice, you're not going to eat it or drink it. It's like if you look at things like coconut, 12 spoons of sugar in normal Coke, Diet Coke then is like maybe 2 or 3 or so, but you'd nearly be better off with the real Coke, because instead of the artificial sweeteners and all the chemicals. But the marketing is making sure that the people who are wanting to be very conscious of their body and their health, they'll go for Diet Coke instead of Coke, when the reality is to be better off with Coke. So this is the power of the marketing. This is where people need to educate themselves and inform themselves. So the processed food is definitely a number one thing people have to look at. That goes for soft drinks. Energy drinks are an absolute killer. Like again, they're so toxic, and they've guarana and they've all kinds of stuff that are not good for your heart even. Not to mind your insulin levels and your sugars and so on. You've got all the processed food, you've got all the confectionery, you've got all the baked goods in terms of donuts and that type of stuff. People need to cut that stuff down, because that's what's gaining the weight, that's what's causing heart problems, diabetes, and so on. From that stage then to move on again, if people were to look again towards the vegan side a bit more, or healthier from that perspective, I would tell people number one to work on the dairy, because the dairy is, it's like a silent killer, I call it, because you don't necessarily know it's causing you any damage until you actually give it up. When you give it up, then you really notice. Like for asthma, for any mucus forming situations that people have, for bone pain in bones and all, it's unbelievable the difference it makes when you take it out, because it's super acidic. So it's leaching calcium from your bones instead of putting calcium in like is marketed. It's marketed like the calcium you need from it, but it actually does the opposite. It takes calcium out. So it's causing bone disease. It's causing asthma, or it's accentuating asthma. Like I've had clients who had severe asthma, tried everything, gave up dairy, asthma gone within a couple of months.
Wow.
So it's unbelievable, but it's only when you stop having it for a period of time and then you go back and have a bit. Like for me, I give up for 6 weeks in my process of experimenting before going fully vegan. And during those 6 weeks, I can honestly say I did not notice much difference. I didn't go, oh, wow, I'm noticing a big difference here.
Yeah.
What did happen is when I went back to have some dairy, I went to have ice cream because I love ice cream. I literally had 2 spoons and my nose started running. So it was mucus. Wow. And the next day when I went for a run, I could feel my lungs were just, a bit like there was stuff in them. Again, mucusy. I couldn't breathe as well. That was from a couple of spoons of ice cream because it had become alien to my body. So it really had an accentuated effect. Yeah. So I would tell people work on cutting the dairy out if in terms of a move towards vegan, as well as just being healthier. Whether you go vegan or not, it's healthier. So processed food and dairy would be the two I would say focus on.
Look, man, you just told me. Now, you gave me the logic because I agree with you. It is a go world, right? And the marketing, I'm not going to lie to you, I will be 100. I seen something on a commercial the other day. I think it was at Taco Bell or something. I said, "Oh my God, what is that?" And I had to go, right? Yeah. But you think about that's that marketing, man. And so I agree with you. Process has got to be number one.
Well, look at marketing. Look at McDonald's. It's genius. Happy Meals. Get the kids in. Kids go for the toys. They get the food as well. Obviously, they do it throughout their childhood, and then they're addicted. And then as adults, they want it as well. Because again, if you're addicted, you want it. And then they'll do the same with their own kids. So they're guaranteeing generations of McDonald's customers, basically.
And that's it, man. Wow. So looking at that, I wanted to start with the workout first, right? And so get a little bit more on the vegan, then looking at how do you begin, maybe not even going vegan, but tighten up your diet on your own. But then it comes to the most serious part of this process, the workout piece, right? Because I wanted to talk about diet first, because you cannot outwork a bad diet. But now that we got a little bit more information on looking at the workout piece, where are some places? I guess not that part, but I will tell you this. My doctor said you didn't go to the gym to put the weight on, so not necessarily going to the gym is going to help it out. So looking at that diet, but then where does working out go within this process? Do I lose a little weight first before I go and work out, or do I just go at both at the same time?
Yeah, to hit that question straight off anyway, many people have that mentality. It's like, oh, I lose a bit first, then I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Why not just do both? Why not do some exercise and, make some improvements in your nutrition? Because all it ends up being is it's just an excuse. Like we always like to be kind to ourselves, and we like to justify, poor decisions. If you want to get healthier, get in better shape, lose fat, tone up, whatever it might be, yes, watch your nutrition and improve nutrition, but also get active. Do both hand in hand. You don't need to wait, do one for the other. Like do both at the same time, because it'll get faster results anyway. Plus it's about changing your lifestyle. Focus on creating a healthy, active lifestyle. That is what everyone's goal need to be. People, in terms of, again, a shift mentally, people need to shift away from seeing things as a diet, because when you are focused on a diet, there's an end game, basically, whether it be the end of 4 weeks, 12 weeks, 3 months, when the wedding is, when the holiday is, when Christmas hits, there's an end. That subconsciously, when that end comes, you revert back to the way you were, because you're feeling deprived on the diet. Whereas if you focus and said, I always tell to clients, I always hammer them about the dieting, to stop using that word, don't focus on it, focus on lifestyle, because this should be forever. And the thing is, if you live a good, healthy, active lifestyle, you'll have a good quality of life. You should have a long life. instead of, getting to a certain age where you're having to take loads of medication, you can't really move that much, you're not even independent anymore, you have to get people to help you, stuff like that. So people need to focus on lifestyle, see the long term, have your little goals. There's nothing wrong with having a goal of losing a certain amount of fat or weight, or going down a pant size or a dress size. That's cool. Or if there is a wedding or Christmas, which is in a few weeks from now, that's grand. But see them as stepping stones as opposed to the end.
Yeah.
See your life as the end. So till your last breath, you're going to live as healthy as you possibly can. So that's an important kind of distinction that needs to be made and hammered out there. Lifestyle, not diet.
Yeah.
And in terms of the exercise side, so do both, definitely. But as you said, you can't outwork a bad diet. So you can exercise your ass off 4 or 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. If your food isn't right and you're just living off fast food and convenience food and, alcohol, soft drinks, eating late at night, all this type of stuff, you're not going to change your shape. You may get fitter, you may get a bit more toned, but you ain't going to get slimmer. And you're also not going to dramatically improve your likelihood of disease, even with the exercise. So it's important to focus on improvements in both. What I think is important, another mindset shift, is when people look to get healthier, in shape, exercise or food or whatever, they always focus on what they're eliminating. So I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop eating this. I'm going to stop drinking this. I'm going to cut this out for 30 days. I'm going to do 2 hours of exercise. I'm going to do, it's all stuff they don't want to do, but they feel they have to do it. Focus on adding things that you're happy to do, because if you add and you add something and it becomes a habit. So you do for 7 days, 14, a month, and it becomes a habit. It's there, it's stuck. It's like brushing your teeth. I always compare things like that. I say, create these lifestyle habits as if you're brushing your teeth. You wouldn't go a day without brushing your teeth. You definitely wouldn't go a week or a month or a few years. So make them so it's like that, because you don't consciously go, oh, I'm going to brush my teeth now. It just happens. Yeah. So exercise, good nutrition, drinking water should be like that. They're just automatic things that you just do. So focus on adding. So if you don't exercise right now, there's no point saying I'm going to go 6 days a week to the gym and I'm going to do an hour a day. Even if you just do 5 minutes at home each morning when you wake up, jumping around, a bit of dancing, even a couple of press-ups, squats, it's a start. So focus on adding something positive, then building it. It's like with the food. If you drink 10 cans of Coke a day, don't focus on cutting out 10 cans of Coke a day. If you don't drink any water, drink 1-2 glasses of water a day. If you focus on adding that water, the Coke will naturally decrease to 9, 8, 7, and so on as your water goes up. So by adding, you actually eliminate without focusing on it. Same as the exercise. If you start doing 5 minutes a day, you'll start to want to do 10 minutes a day, or 4 days a week where you do 30 minutes. The other days, maybe 5 minutes, but you'll build it up. So focus on adding. An important thing too is, like we said about the gym, and people thinking you have to go to the gym. You don't have to go to the gym. There's so many alternatives now. Like the thing is, before everyone thought if you want to get in shape, you had to go to the gym. Like I don't know how long ago it is, but I think it might be, is it 100 years or 70 years? There was no such things as gyms. Yeah. People were led active lives. Most people's occupations involved some type of physical work. People walked and cycled everywhere. So people didn't need to go to gyms. Whereas now they do. Like you need to exercise, but don't have in your head you have to go to the gym. One, because it's an extra expense maybe you can't afford. Two, you might be feeling intimidated. You don't like being around people because you're not comfortable in your own skin. You don't like how you look. You feel, embarrassed by how you look. So it's intimidating. Also, it's easy to have excuses. Excuses about money, excuses about travel. I don't have time, all this type of thing. The times don't suit me. This is why not just exercise at home then? Like I'm very big on encouraging people to exercise at home. Because there is no excuse then. You can get up here in the morning.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask for the next question. Of just digging a little bit deeper into it. Things are crazy, and you think about those gyms, but then you also think about those memberships. So I know, are you still doing the programs at home?
Yeah, so we have like a program online where we do live workouts Monday to Saturday, and then all the replays are available as well. Always. So people have access to hundreds of different workouts, replay wise and live ones every single day, Monday to Saturday. And then we're continuously looking at getting new instructors, new types of classes to add. So, that's the type of platform that we have. Plus we give a lot of support and accountability and recipes and whatever help we can. Now there's many options out there. So that's like a paid membership. There's many other types of paid membership. Like in America, you know a lot about Beachbody and Insanity and these types of,
Hey,
like
Beachbody.
there's loads of these things out there. So
Mm-hmm.
there's loads of paid ones out there. But also, you know, for people who genuinely can afford, or they just want to dip their toe in and not expend any money yet, you know, just go to YouTube even. Type in, you know, home workout. You'll have thousands and thousands of options. Like the most important thing with working out at home is knowing what to do. Now, if someone's used to exercising, they have a good idea how to work out, but the gym isn't appealing anymore, or financially they need to cut things,
Mm-hmm.
work out at home with the kind of things you used to do. It's very, like, for about $100, let's say, you could easily get a barbell and a gym ball, and then you've got your body and a chair. That's all you need. Or TRX straps. Like, you don't need a lot to work out. Like, all the gym does is give you a lot more options. It's like toys. Like if you only have one or two toys, you enjoy them, make the best of them.
Make the
If a
best
kid has
of it.
100 toys, it just gives the kid more options. But how many of those toys are they ever going to use? Same inside the gym. How many of those machines are you ever going to use? So they're just options because, you know, there's no best exercise. There's no best machine. It's about exercising your body, exercising in a balanced way.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're exercising at home, workout videos, following someone who's doing the workout live or doing it like as a replay. Like we've got all our replays in our membership. Or you go onto YouTube, obviously they're not live videos. You're watching a replay basically.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's books, there's all kinds of things there. So there's loads of options there for people. Why I encourage people for home is because it wipes out excuses. You know, you can't say I haven't got time. Get up a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Or when you get home from work, do it then. Or when the kids are in bed. Or if you work from home, take a break at lunchtime and do a quick half an hour. You know, you can always go outside. Again, it doesn't have to be, again, using equipment. Go for a run, go for a walk, go for a cycle. You know, get some pair like rollerblades or skates or something. You know, there's loads of options there. Like the only thing that people definitely have to do for many reasons is resistance training. Like if you want to get toned, if you want to lose fat, if you want to improve athletic performance, if you want to improve your bone density, improve your posture, you have to do resistance training once, twice a week. Some people love it, some people hate it, but it is a necessity. And then in general, besides that, you know, doing cardiovascular exercise, but do exercise you like. It's like for me, I hate the cross trainer machine, you know, the elliptical machine.
Yeah.
So I hate that machine. I hate the feel of the movement. If I had to do that every day, as determined as I am, I would find that hard to do. I might give up on it. Whereas, like, in terms of if I picked my favorite types of cardio, it would be boxing or rowing machine. Now, as a triathlete, obviously, I have to do lots of running, cycling, and swimming. I don't necessarily like any of those things, but I've chosen to be a triathlete, so I have to focus on those disciplines. You know, so that's the difference. Whereas the exercise I do like would be boxing and rower. So if I ever want something different, or I'm off season, let's say, I'll do that kind of activity or play sports. But find something you like. Find something you can tolerate. It doesn't have to be fun. Like if someone says, "Oh, I love exercising," they're obviously not working hard enough. You know, it's not fun. The results are fun.
Yeah.
The endorphin kick afterwards is fun, but not during it. Like during it, if you're really into it, should feel like hell nearly.
That's it, man.
But it's a case of just remember the reasons you're doing it. Remember the benefits, you know. But start off small. If you're used to exercising, see how can I improve? How can I ramp it up? If you're not used to exercising, literally start with 5 minutes, even 4 days of the week. Like we need to exercise at least 3 days a week, you know, some way intensively to get some kind of results. But if you're starting off, doing something is better than what you were doing, which is nothing.
Hey, amen on that one. Look, I'm telling you, so many people that I know, man, are trying to just get back in the game from the pandemic, getting back into the gym. I know I've been jumping back in myself, but the biggest thing is, like I said, we didn't gain the weight by working out, and as though it's gonna be a part of it, you gotta figure out how to gain it without making working out the bad folk and focusing on that diet piece and getting yourself together first, man. I love it, brother. So tell us about
actually just a quick one there, just while we're talking about, you know, weight and food and all this, and, you know, people trying to get in shape. Just thinking there, one important thing I'd stress to people is, you know, not to focus on their weight. People always go for their weight as their indicator of progress. And all the systems out there, Weight Watchers, all the different things out there will tell you about weight, gyms, trainers, and so on, because it's an easy measurement to check. However, it's the most inaccurate indicator of progress.
Yeah.
Because throughout the whole day, your weight is changing all day because of what you eat, you drink, hydrated, dehydrated, and so on.
Yeah.
Women, 3 weeks out of every 4, their weight's all over the shop. So it is not a good indicator.
Yeah.
For anyone who's looking to, improve their shape and health and so on, get a tape measurement. Take measurements like around your chest, back area, your belly button, your hips, your thighs, your arms, your calves, your neck, that kind of thing. Pick out items of clothing. If clothes are getting smaller, pick out something you can't fit into, and that's your goal to fit into it. Take photos. Body fat calipers, like skin fold calipers for body fat. If you know someone who has one, that's an accurate measurement of your body fat. So use them as your indicators because they're real measurements and they're either going down or they're not. Whereas weight will torment you. Same as BMI, they're not accurate. And you could be doing amazing, hop on for that second, it tells you something that's not very nice and you give up. When your reality is you were well on track. It was just in that moment, the weight was not good. It was higher. You might have to go to the toilet in 1 hour. It's that inaccurate. Yeah. So I would urge people to, not rely on the weighing scales. Get rid of it even if they have one. Give it to somebody you don't like. Let it torment them. Get a tape measurement. Get a camera take photos like your phone. Much better.
Yeah, man. Awesome information, man. Now, if we want to know more about the memberships, want to know more about you, more about everything you got going on, man, give us the information so that, man, we can really find you and link up.
Yeah, well, look, I put out a ton of content every single day across all social media. So like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, everything that's out there, I'm on it. So if you just even put my name into Google, you'd find me on all those platforms. My website's davesheahan.highperformance.com. And on that as well, like I have a WhatsApp so people can message me if they've got questions. I'm genuinely there to help people in any way I possibly can. And people say that, but they kind of don't deliver on it. I deliver on it. Like you don't even have to be a member of my programs for me to help you. Like I get reached out to every single day by people across social media, just commenting on something I put up or my food or my training, ask me a question about it or tell me of a struggle they have. I'll happily answer it. Of course, I'd love you to be on my programs. At the end of the day, I'm running a business, but the more important thing for me is I have a purpose here. I feel my purpose in this world is to help people and make a positive impact. So I live every day with the sole purpose and mission to make a positive impact on even just one person. That's what I want. So, if I can help anyone, just get in touch, just message me. But check out all the stuff I put out across all those platforms. I also have a podcast, the Mind Body Health podcast. So, check that out. And tons of stuff out there. It's just like yourself. We put out so much stuff every day. If people just, consume a certain amount of it and more importantly, implement it, they'll see incredible results.
That's it, brother. I sure appreciate it, man. We have done it again. You have come through again, man. 1:30 in the morning, Limerick Ireland. I'm in Ireland. Look, dude, right now it's probably 2 something. So it's been a while. Look, man, I appreciate your time. Yeah.
Honored to be on the show. Like I love the show. I love all you're doing. You're doing such amazing work. Again, like what I'm saying with me having a purpose, it's so clear your purpose again is to make a positive impact, and you give so much with your heart. You lead with your heart. So it's a pleasure for me to be on. There's very few people that would come on at 1:30 a.m. for it, but it was a definite yes for you the second you asked me. So it's an honor to be on here, and I hope the audience has gained something from what we've spoken about.
Most definitely, man. I sure appreciate the words of encouragement. Man, we're just gonna keep pushing, man, and I know you'll do the same, man. So thank you again for coming on and taking some time, brother.
My pleasure. Keep
all
up.
Right. Yes, sir. This is KT for KTTV signing out. 100.
This is Darnell with Broadcast Houston.
This is Dr. Tamara Beckford.
Hey, this is Candace.
This is London Underwood.
This is Kirsten Bass with Inner City Greens, and you're watching.
Y'all are now tuned in to
KTTV.
KTTV.